Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
All right. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's the same old, usually nowadays.
As usual, when there's a new Hammerfall record coming out, I venerate you.
That was a good one.
And it's a good record. Thank you very much for the Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, it's fast.
It really is. Yeah, not by design. No, I don't know. I think it. I didn't realize until we had like 6 or 7 songs, and I looked at them as a package, and I realized, well, there's a fast one, and there's another fast one. There's an even faster one. I didn't really think about it when I was writing the songs. Not at the first, anyway. But I think it's a product of. Because a lot of the stuff on this album, or part of, a lot of it was written on tour. Yeah. And on tour, you get that adrenaline kick from being on stage, and then you try to write some songs, and it usually gets to that tempo. I don't know if that's at least part of it, but I don't really have a great explanation as to. I just think that's how it turned out.
You said you wrote those songs on tour. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been much touring in the past couple of years.
No, true. That's good thinking of you. No, that's right. I wrote a lot of the stuff on tour. For example, Brotherhood is written on the North American tour that we did with Flotsam and Jetsam as a special guest in 2018. So that's an early one. Hammer of Dawn was written in Germany on tour. I began the song in Ludwigsburg and I finished it in Dresden. So,
how exactly do you know all this? It's crazy.
It's easy because I remember where I was when I started the song, because sometimes you have to, like when I come up with the riff, I record it in the computer and I have to name the session something. And sometimes I just use the name of the city I'm in. So Ludwigsburg, easy. That was named Ludwigsburg for a while. And maybe 3 or 4 days after that show, we had a day off in Dresden. I felt good. I felt like I'm going to try to finish, at least continue with this song now. Yeah. So I took a hotel room, put up my stuff, my guitar and my recording stuff, and a couple of beers to the side. And I spent the whole day recording it. And I know this was in Dresden because I finished the song there as well, which is quite unusual. But sometimes you're on a roll. Things just flow, and that was one of those times.
Is it true that Hammer of Dawn is actually the name of a computer game?
No, it's the name of a very powerful weapon in a computer game. Yeah, it's the Gears of War. It's a franchise for the Microsoft Xbox and stuff. Right. And they have this weapon where you use the weapon to laser tag what you want destroyed. So, and this is the game with aliens and stuff. So sometimes it's a huge berserker, they call it, for example, an alien that you can't really kill with anything else. You have to lure it out in the open. You tag it with a laser, and then from the top comes the satellite and just vaporizes everything. So it's a really, really powerful weapon. But I just thought it was a cool name. I mean, I had this name in my sort of song title bank for, I don't know, 12 years, maybe more. I don't remember exactly when I played the game the first time, but it's always been there. I felt I'm gonna pull it out when I have a great time for a song that fits this. And I've tried it or tasted it a little bit on the previous albums, but it never really fit. Now it was a perfect time, so I brought it out for the song. And because the song turned out so good, we felt, both Joacim and I felt that we probably should name the album this, because it's a good album title as well.
It is. But I'm just a little bit in shock and awe, because if those songs were written on tour and you had no tours probably the last 2 years, how many more songs do you have written in this time?
Well, would you like to know? No, seriously. Well, I got stuff. But what I wrote some things on the road. I began, like, for example, No Mercy and No Son of Odin were both begun during the vocal recordings for Dominion. Like when Joacim was in the studio, we came back from the studio, I set my stuff up because I had inspiration still. I kept going, so I wrote probably half of those songs there. So it's been a constant writing session for me. We're not anymore right now, but up until I'd say 6 months maybe into the pandemic, maybe a little bit more. Yeah. Because the thing is, I write songs when I'm I don't have to be happy. You know, I don't have to be laughing, but I have to be in a good, content mood.
Yeah.
I have to be, excited about stuff like touring, for example, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's when we came back off the road. So we finished the whole European tour that we were supposed to do at the end of February, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, the whole world shut down, basically. Yeah. So we got to finish what we were supposed to. That was really fortunate for that we didn't have to cut anything short of that. And then I was kind of like, I'm in a good mood, but I'm also tired of traveling. So I saw this whole vacation, this whole break as a vacation. And first, of course, like everybody else, I thought we're in March now, so maybe April, May. By May, this should be fading out, and June we should be fine. You know, that was my initial reaction to everything. And little did I know, of course, I had no idea. But so once June rolled around, I realized, okay, now all the festivals are postponed or gone or whatever. This is a really bad situation for that. But I was still happy to be home, because I realized also this was my first uninterrupted by festivals or other travel that I could have a Swedish summer with my family. So I decided to look at it from that point of view instead of focusing on all of the bad stuff or why we could tour. I focused on what this actually brought me, where the situation I was actually in. So I had a good time over the summer. I mean, I was enjoying myself. I wrote a lot of stuff that summer as well. A lot of songs. And then let's say August, maybe September, when the end of the summer was coming, I realized that, okay, so because at the end of the summer, it was looking like the pandemic was going down a little bit. Yeah. And then the second wave hit with full force. And all of a sudden, it was, September, October. I had absolutely no idea of when we're ever going to be on stage again. There was like nothing to look forward to. So that was a really dark period. Yeah. So I'm happy that I got to finish as much of the songs as I could before that. Because after that, it was really difficult to find the right inspiration to write some stuff.
Yeah.
It worked. I wrote Venerate Me, for example, from start to finish during this period. But that was hard. It was weeks of nothing that I felt like the weeks just flew by. Maybe you were in the same situation where you can't do part of what you have done for 25 years. It's been such a big part of what you're doing and a big part of where you get your energy from. That's all of a sudden not possible to do. And you don't know when that's going to pick up again. That was difficult. So that was a dark period. But luckily, I only had a couple of more songs to finish. So I finished those. Those took a long time, but I only had a few stuff to do. And then I was done with the songwriting. So it was a big change. So it's a big difference with this songwriting than some of the previous ones. For sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. Unfortunately, radio never stops. I always had to go to work.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, you don't have to. As long as you have your booth, your microphone, and a couple of controls, you're good, right?
Oh, look, there's a CD. I'm gonna play. Yeah. Anyway. Well, how did you come to the idea that you were gonna invite King Diamond for Venerate Me?
Well, this was basically it was just kind of a joke or like a non-serious suggestion or fun, wouldn't it be fun if? Because we know King Diamond a little bit. Pontus, our guitar player, is a sound engineer as well. And he's been working live on tours with King Diamond for many years. Yeah. So they kind of know each other fairly well. But it's a long step from there to actually having the King on an album, And I know, especially since he doesn't really make a lot of cameos and stuff. He doesn't make a lot of appearances, So I basically mentioned, because I had it in mind when I wrote the song, I felt like this part, this is how King Diamond or Merciful Fate would have done it back in the day if they wrote this song, that kind of thing, Yeah. And I mentioned something like that during the recording, like, well, wouldn't it be cool if, like that's ever going to happen? And Pontus said, I can ask him, if you ask him, I'm sure he'll say yes. So he called him later that night and came back the next morning, but he's in. I was like, what the fuck, is this really happening? Because it came from nothing. It was just a weird idea or something that's never ever going to happen because King Diamond is King Diamond, and we come from 30 years of more actually than that of being fans of King Diamond. So it's a huge deal for us to have him do something like this.
Yeah,
and I realized why he hasn't done things like this because I realized why he did it with us because he trusts us. He trusts Pontus to take care of his voice, because for him, his voice is his trademark. That's exactly what King Diamond is. There's a lot of other stuff too, but his voice is really his absolute trademark, I think. And he wanted this voice to be handled in the correct way so that it represented his trademark, so that you could hear it. And we were really, we wanted to make him happy, of course. So we wanted to make, we did everything we could to make King Diamond satisfied with this little part that he sung. And so it was a bit of he tried to explain what he was hearing, and it's always sometimes difficult to explain sound to people or a feeling. But in the end, we got there, and I think he was happy with the result. And he said he was happy, so I hope that was cool. We sent him several different variations, and for us, the details, like the feedback he gave us, was like a half decibel up, or it's really small. But he was very careful with exactly what he wanted, which I totally 100% respect. We just wanted to make him happy, and I think we did in the end. And by doing that, we made ourselves happy. So it's funny, an unbelievable feeling.
You have all those great singers. Probably Joacim is the same. But I remember having a sound check with Ronnie James Dio on stage, and I saw his monitor guy getting exactly the monitor sound that he wants. Yep. That's incredibly, fine. It's amazing.
Yeah. They've been around for so long. I mean, they've done it for decades. They know exactly what they need or what they want to hear. So and the great thing about this song is, like, if you know King Diamond, but you don't know he's appearing on Venerate Me, and you hear Venerate Me, the second he starts singing, that's King Diamond. You can hear it right away. And that's exactly what we wanted. It's 100% exactly why we wanted to have this, because we as fans of King Diamond wanted to have him on a Hammerfall record, just as a bucket list kind of thing. So we're super, super happy about that.
This is great. For the next riff, you go like, I wonder what happens if James Hetfield sings this.
Yeah, right. Oh, yes, as a matter of fact, I know him. No, I don't, of course. I was kidding. But no, well, you can always dream. That goes to show that, even the wildest dreams can sometimes come true.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of dreams, the record is going to be in the stores on Friday.
True.
Is this something where you go like, oh, I'm excited. I wonder how the people's going to react to them. Or you go like, lo and behold, it's another majestic record. Just buy it and bow down. After so many records.
It's a little bit of both, to be honest. The thing is, okay, let me explain so I don't come off wrong here. But the thing, first of all, we've been doing this, waiting for this album to come out. We were ready 5 months ago, which is a long time before. Normally it's like 3, but due to the pandemic and the vinyl factories, we had to hand in everything 5 months in advance as opposed to 3. So we've been sitting on this for a long time, and I just can't wait to not have to be careful with everything. No secrets anymore. Now it's all out. That's going to be great. But I also am super, super happy with the album. I think it turned out really well on a lot of like the little things, like songwriting. It's always there. I wouldn't let the song leave my computer or get recorded unless I was really happy with it.
Yeah.
But okay, things can change and whatever. But I'm really happy with everything. But all the little details in everything, that's what I'm really happy about. Like, for example, the energy level of the performance is something that I don't think we have achieved since Glory to the Rave, to be honest with you. Because we tried to get that live performance thing, and Glory to the Rave, we were just young guys. They didn't know anything, had no time to record it, just went in there and recorded. Of course, that's going to be very energetic. Yeah. And we tried to create that live atmosphere again in the studio many times. And I think on Dominion, we sort of achieved it, but it's even more prominent with Hammer of Dawn. And that's one of my favorite parts of this album, because I know the stuff is good. I know we record with great people. We got great sounding stuff. We know how to produce an album, and we work with people who know how to produce and mix an album. So I'm not worried about that part. I'm just, and to answer the second part of your question, I am always happy with a Hammerfall record. I always think that people should go out and check it because it's going to be great. Because the thing is, I don't write music to please anybody else. I write music to please myself and to please us. The Hammerfall is Hammerfall. Whatever we do, is something that we are happy with. And that's how it started, 25 years ago or even more. We're just going to want to be a heavy metal band playing the type of music that we love, that back in those days, not many people, or at least no new bands, were actually doing.
Yeah.
So and we didn't think we were going to go anywhere or achieve anything really back then. And that feeling is still the same. We wrote music for ourselves, and I always use my gut feeling, my gut to determine if a song is good or not. I try to listen to it as a fan. It's really difficult when you have written the song yourself, but I usually at various intervals throughout the songwriting process, I go and just press play, lean back, and just try to think about, and just let the music, and come into my ears without analyzing it too much. Just let to feel the music more than anything else. And that's always how I've done it. That is how I determine if the song is good or not, and worthy of being on a Hammerfall album or not. And it's worked pretty well so far, I'd say. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Oh, well, yeah, we've worked once. Yeah, man. What about the other guys? Do they go like, no, we don't like the song? If you come up with something, they go like, it's going to be discussed. Are there discussions? That's never happened. I mean, I don't know. Nobody's ever said anything. I do a lot of back and forth with Joacim. Like, I send him stuff, and I've gotten like 60% of this song. Do you think it's the right direction? Can we have this on the album? Whatever. If I'm a bit unsure, he does the same with me. Just sends me back stuff. Like, I put this vocals on here. What do you think of the verse? And whatever. So we do a lot of back and forth like that. But the other guys aren't really involved in that process, and that's by design. We have Joacim and I are the only ones since the first album. We are the ones who write almost all of the music. We had the vision from the beginning. It's still our vision in a lot of ways, but we need all of us, all 5 members, to work together, of course, to realize it. That's out of the question. But the musical aspect is always comes from Joacim and myself. And the other guys seem to be fine with that. I mean, Pontus contributes sometimes with a song here and there, or a riff here and there. But the other guys, I mean, the only feedback I get is either nothing or great song. So I don't know. We'll see once the album is out what people think about it. But it's funny that you mentioned the Glory to the Brave, and I know when you go back out on tour now, and it's going to happen in summer. The soonest or in spring. You have new songs you want to play. You do everything, but then again, you have a 25-year anniversary. Glory to the Brave. Yeah,
true.
How do you deal with those anniversaries? You have Crimson Thunder 2002, which will be 20 years.
You can't get too hung up on those things, because there's not going to be another anniversary in 5 years that collides with something else. So we decided that, or this was actually Neutral Dance idea, but they wanted to do these 20-year anniversary editions of Glory to the Brave, which we did in 1997, Legacy of Kings a year after, and Renegade came out last year. Because of the pandemic, it was delayed for a year. And in conjunction with the tours that we did in those, like when the album actually celebrated 20 years, we did sort of our tribute, I guess you could say. We played a song or two extra from that album. We did a medley with a bunch of stuff that we haven't done in a while, or maybe ever, just to give that album a little bit extra love. And we did that for the 20. So I think we're going to continue with that. And let's see what happens in 5 years when Glory to the Brave turns 30. You never know. But this year, I think Crimson Thunder will be under the microscope a little bit more. We haven't really discussed that very well because of the tour being delayed and everything. But I think that's probably what's going to happen.
It's funny because, even after 20 years, I still cannot grasp the concept of a thunder being crimson.
Well, yeah. It was. I came up with this title, 20 years ago. I know that I got it from somewhere, and there was some thinking behind it. I think I got it from a book.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what the reasoning was. I think it sort of alluded to the music. The Crimson Thunder running through our veins, and the music is sort of the thunder. I don't know, or something like that. I don't know. I think that's what it was.
It's funny.
Time. Yeah,
we were looking forward the whole time, obviously, like so many people did, the tour with you guys and Helloween.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You know, it's got to be postponed again, but it's going to happen. I might like to think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you kind of, I mean, you've known it, you know each other, you've met each other, you probably played together, but it's still like you go out with a band that must be some kind of your idol once you started Hammerfall.
Absolutely. It's weird to get to know the people who you listened to when you grew up, like the guys at Helloween. But that's the way it is. I mean, everybody. I don't know everybody in the band, but most of them I know fairly well, at least.
Yeah.
And some of them better than others, of course. But it's funny to be able to call your the people you listen to like that your friends. It's really interesting. And then now we're going on tour with them, so it adds another layer to it. But you cannot escape the fact that Hammerfall are heavily influenced by Helloween. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I discovered Helloween with Keeper of the Seven Keys. Probably the second one, I don't remember really, but one or two, I don't remember. It was 88, 87 or 88, I think. But Joacim has been listening to the band since Judas. You know, he's an old school hardcore fan of Helloween. But that's, so they definitely played a role. And for example, in the 90s, not that many heavy metal albums were released with, we had this classic heavy metal melodic vocals and all that stuff.
True. Yeah.
And in my opinion, Helloween produced two albums with Master of the Rings and The Time of the Oath that I think rivals anything that they ever done before or after. Yeah. So I think that they were really important in the 90s for us as well, for forming Hammerfall and stuff. So you cannot overstate the importance of Helloween for us. It's a huge deal for us.
You're going to be special guest. How much time of playing gives you that for each night?
Yeah. So that's why we were so excited to go on this tour for a lot of reasons. But they have treated us really well. It really made us feel like they want us to be on the road with them. Like they feel like we give something, add something to the tour. So they have. We're going to be playing for 75 minutes, which is really nice. I mean, it's close to a headline set anyway, so that's going to be great. Now we got space on the stage and stuff, so it's going to be really. It's not actually a co-headline tour, but a little bit. Yeah, where it's kind of like between co-headlining and special guests kind of thing. I don't know, but it's called United Forces anyway. So that's that means that we're all working towards the same goal regardless. So and it's fucking fun. I think it's cool as hell to be doing this. And like you said, it's gonna happen sooner or later. Now the new dates are all spread out all over. But it feels to me like we're in a better place now. Pandemic wise, I mean, that of course you should never say never. Things can change, but if you follow the virus, it seems like every wave was less lethal, less severe, severe symptoms, and also a lot more contagious. So hopefully, maybe not yet, but soon we'll be rid of this whole thing. It's been the virus will be weak enough that it won't kill so many people, because it still kills people. You got to remember that.
It does.
You open the borders and everything. Yeah, freedom, but it still kills a bunch of people every day. So, people should be a little bit careful about how they handle their daily business. I'm not saying stay in or lock your doors or whatever, but try to live your life normal, but think of what you're doing. Don't cough in your hands and shake hands or dip your hand into the peanuts at the bar or whatever. I don't know. But, stuff like that. You wash your hands and take care. Don't do anything stupid. That's and then we'll be rid of this thing for once and for all. That's the best thing, or at least society will go back to normal sooner. And so my hope is that for when these tours or these shows are actually scheduled next time, that there's a much better chance. I didn't know this back then, obviously, when the tour was announced in the first place. Yeah. But it feels like then it was much more uncertain. What's the future going to hold? A year, 2 years, who knows? Yeah. But now I think that we're in a better place to say that in 6 months or whenever it was, like actually less, but it's less and more, I think, because the first shows are in May and June, and then we go on, August, September, December, whatever. But I think we're in a better place. We can more easily predict the future now with the virus than we could when the tour was announced. So I'm very positive these shows are going to happen when they're supposed to now. I don't think we're going to see any more delays with this.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm quite positive and optimistic about that too. You know who's going to be the happiest guy on this tour with Helloween and Hammerfall? It's going to be Helloween drummer Danny Luble, because he doesn't have to play for 3.5 hours anymore.
All right. Yeah. I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. Unfortunately, didn't get to see them on that tour that they did. No, I didn't. They were played here in Gothenburg, but we weren't home. I wasn't home. I think we were on a festival somewhere or whatever, because I know some of the guys saw them in Stockholm a day or two after that. But obviously I live in Gothenburg, and we haven't crossed paths on any festivals. That's the weirdest thing. So, because when there's bands that I like, that I want to see on a festival, I always go and make a point out of seeing them, because I like, I don't want to miss the band. Yeah. But that hasn't worked out, unfortunately, during those years when they were before the last album. When they were doing that reunion tour or whatever. I don't remember what they called it, but
it was the reunion. Yeah.
Yeah, they call it something special. I read an interview in an old magazine.
Pumpkins United.
Exactly, that's what it was. Thank you. And now it's United Forces, so I guess it's a good name for it. But yeah, it's going to be fun as hell to see it live. Like I said, I haven't seen it, so which means I haven't seen Kai Hansen and Mikael Kiske together with the boys again. So I really can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's true. It's good. You're gonna like it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
I have no more further questions, Your Honor. Thank you very much for talking to us.
That's good. I'm going to go pick up my son from school.
Yeah, I'm going to go home now too. Had enough for today.
Okay, that's good.
Talk to you soon. Good luck with the record.
Yep.
And
thank you very much.
Yeah,
thanks for a great chat.
I expect nothing else than #1 on the German record charts. Don't worry about that.
Well, fingers crossed. Or how do you do it? Something with thumbs in Germany, I heard.
You go like this. Or you hold your thumb.
Yes, exactly. That's what we do this in Sweden too. We hold your thumb.
Good. Yeah.
We don't do this, but in English they do this. So yes, hold your thumbs.
English.
Well, since we're talking in English, it's used this way. But yeah, hold your thumbs. Thank you very much. And it's super nice to talk to you.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Yes, absolutely. Take care, man.
Bye-bye.